Hi, I'm Linda Mae, and I am a reader here for Crystal Magic Psychic Center in Sedona, Arizona. And I'm here today to talk to you about the full moon period that we are beginning on the afternoon of Sunday, February 1st at 3:09 p.m., which is Mountain Standard Time at this time. So it will be full at 5:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can adjust your times accordingly to see when it's exact for you. This particular full moon is known as the snow moon, named for the heavy snows that often fall during this time of the year. And through much of the country, it really has been snowing. Not so much in Sedona, but not yet anyway. We haven't had any, but still, it's the time of year. It's usually very cold outside, which is true, but it does remind us that growth is still happening beneath the surface. It's a time of introspection and patience, as well as inner strength. The snow moon may test our will, but it will also send the promise of that neither winter nor our challenges are endless. So some things just take time, and it also offers clarity about what you're ready to leave behind before new growth begins. So this is a time to strengthen your spirit and prepare for what's next. And other names for this particular moon, I use the snow moon, that's one of the more popular ones, but it also can be called the eagle moon, the first flower moon, the hungry moon, the ice moon, for various reasons, usually because of the locations and things going on. And interestingly, the first flower moon sort of attracts me because, and I'll be talking about this in a minute, Imbolc, which is one of the 8 high days, is actually on February 1st. So, and that, the first flower moon is sort of in alignment with that, which is kind of cool because that's when the beginning buds of the beginning of spring, We'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, we do have a full moon when the sun and moon are considered in opposition, and astrologically it means that the sun and moon are in opposing signs, and at the time of this full moon, the sun is in Aquarius and the moon is in Leo, and they are exactly opposed on Sunday, February 1st at 3:09 p.m., which I mentioned earlier. And this does open a time for prioritizing self-expression, confidence, heart-centered awareness, and bold moves that amplify fun, spontaneity, and joy in your life. It's also a time to find the balance between self and the collective. So it is a time, and it is also a time of change because it is a full moon, and it can make a huge difference in times to come. Probably for the better. I really like that there's so much going on in Aquarius these days, and aspect-wise, I'll talk a little bit more about that. So just before the full moon, we saw a clear shift on January 20th as the sun and Mercury both entered Aquarius. Right around that time, and the sun and Mercury in Aquarius, what that does is the Aquarian age is more about humanity and our collective. And so this makes for better communications and everything like that. And then right around the same time, we have some really sweet aspects between Venus, Pluto, and Mercury, which actually bring in the transition of Mars to the sign of Aquarius also. So the sweet aspects are mostly trines and sextiles, and those are also usually really good news and really, they're blessings in their own way. So bringing Mars into the mix is actually a wonderful thing too. And all of this helps us to deepen relationships and brings more honesty to conversations that you're having with people. And we also see Mars conjunct Pluto on January 28th, which is again right before the full moon, and that leads us to many breakthroughs. So on January 29th, Venus conjuncts the sun, which brings in a gentle conciliatory energy and builds bridges. Then we move into the full moon on February 1st, which I mentioned, and then on the 3rd, Uranus goes direct, which actually brings more self-expression in and a little bit more of a sense of freedom. And on February 13th, which is, a couple weeks later, 10 days later, Saturn enters Aries, which brings in opportunities for personal growth and balancing our individual needs with the collective. So in many ways, what's coming aspect-wise is actually right in alignment with this full moon. So it's actually less challenges and more harmony, which is really wonderful, especially for a full moon. So we are now moving into the season of Imbolc, which I mentioned earlier. It's on the same day as the full moon, and Imbolc is a time of harmony and balance. It's a time of celebrating the return of the light as the days get brighter and brighter. It's a time of planting seeds in the earth, as well as the seeds of our dreams and hopes. And it's also known as a time when lambs are born, which brings in a sense of new beginnings. And interestingly, the other thing that I didn't mention here is that, for each of the high days, we actually have 3 high days for each season. So this is the first of the spring seasons and the last of the winter seasons. That's what we're getting right now. So the last of the cold, dark winter, which is why I like the full flower moon that I mentioned. And now we're moving into the beginning of spring. So this is the time when, we get little growths underground, the little white flowers that are starting to bloom, or we start to see shoots coming out of the earth that, aren't quite ready to bloom yet, but they're getting there. You know what I mean? So we're starting to see the growth come back with this season of Imbolc. Now, the traditional Celtic tree calendar, which is based upon the moon cycles with the new year beginning at Samhain, October 31st, that's a typical Celtic tree calendar, has the tree for this period of the December, January, which is what we are here, December, January moon, because the new moon was in January. This moon cycle is Willow, and this is the Willow card. Okay, and that's from this deck, the Celtic Tree Oracle. And this one, basically, Willow is associated with flow and changes because things are changing right now. It's a time of cooperation and intuition, fertility and creativity, which is pretty much in alignment with the other things I was saying with the aspects at work and everything. So I think it's so cool how it's so in alignment. It's a time to embrace your emotions and express them, and you can do it diplomatically, as I had mentioned, because some of the communications are actually going to be better than usual. It's a time of encouraging harmony with others and to be open to new ideas that may come to you. It's a great time to support yourself and also others with sharing. And this energy also helps you to set intentions for the new solar year. So this is like, still, we're only just entering into February for this full moon. And January was the beginning of the new year. So it's still time we can still set intentions for the year to come. Now I'm going to start drawing my cards. So we're going to start with the Druid Animal Oracle deck here. Okay. And the card we get for this period is the Wolf. This is a very interesting one. The Wolf actually stands for introspection. It means doing your inner work. So part of, and I see this sort of like as winter turns to spring, because sometimes when we have time to ourselves, like during the winter seasons, we actually can go within a little bit more. It is a good time to do the introspection, to look at the things that we need to release for the new year. So a lot of what the Wolf is saying is take care of you. Go through your inner wounds, own them, release them. And as you do that, everything starts unfolding in a whole new way. And that's perfect for this particular full moon, with that Leo Aquarius energy and everything else. So it's a way of holding your own as well as the collective, as I had mentioned too. But it doesn't happen. This happens more easily when we do that inner work. So that's what this is about. Okay, that's the card we got for this. Now that's interesting. Now we have the Druidcraft Tarot deck here. Okay, and what we have for this deck is, let's see what comes up. The King of Pentacles. This is interesting. Now, the King of Pentacles basically is very responsible. He's the type of person that he's very productive and responsible. He loves hearth and home. Which is also in alignment with Imbolc, ironically. So, because Briege is the goddess of hearth and home, and so it's interesting that this card came up. But he's also very confident. He knows what he's doing. He gets the job done. He knows how to build things step by step, all of that. So in some ways, this is right in alignment with what I was saying. Part of the Leo, knowing your own worth and all that kind of stuff is the Leo energy of the moon itself. And then the Aquarian energy is bringing in, how to work with the collective on that. So a lot of times, even though he's about being responsible and productive, he also cares about the greater good. So that's also a part of this card. So that's really right in alignment. Now the trees have a message for us. Let's see what they say. Very interesting. This one is in alignment with this. This is let go, okay? Enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight. So in some ways, this is sort of like, don't hold on too tight, which means, you just let it go and let it light, let the light be. And part of that is letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. So very interesting how they're very much in alignment. And now the Sedona Spirit Wind deck here, beautiful sacred sites in Sedona, all that have a special meaning to them. This is interesting. We've gotten this before, I'm pretty sure, Tlaquepaque. This is actually a very, very large shopping center here in Sedona, right down by uptown Sedona. And basically the meaning is the best of everything is who I am. And this is really the truth. This is who we are. We are the best of everything. When we own who we are, when we can finally do our inner work and stuff like that, when we can have the confidence to go forward, we're actually knowing that we are the best of everything, okay? That's who we are on our deep inner core. That's who we are. So really beautiful message in many ways for this time, okay? And now this Light Bearers deck, which is a group of angels, angel guidance cards. It's a group of angels that are coming to Earth to help awaken humanity at this time, which is right in alignment with this moon too. And let's see which angel we get today. We get Archangel Ariel. Archangel Ariel. Okay, so one of the archangels. That's really much more powerful than usual. And this is really cool because do you not know, and this is kind of what I was just talking about, do you not know that the universe will take care of your every need? This is a promise that was given before time began. All you need to do is believe and have faith in that promise. So that's like recognizing that inner beingness of who we really are, how we shine our light, the pulsing light that this says. Don't hold on too tight, just know that it's there. That's what this is. That's how we are the best of everything we are. So really, again, right in alignment, and totally blows me away when that happens all the time. Okay, so I will be back before the new moon, which is on February, I believe it's February 18th. I think I wrote the wrong date in my notes here. But before, it's about 2 weeks later. So I think it's more like the 15th. But anyway, I will tell you more before the next new moon, which will be both in Aquarius, which is kind of cool. And in the meantime, if you would like a psychic soul reading or a counseling session in person, by phone, or Zoom, I am here at Crystal Magic Psychic Center most Monday afternoons and most Friday mornings. So you can contact us at crystalmagicpsychiccenter.com to find out more. We have many readers here that are just absolutely wonderful, and we all have our own particular skills. So whoever you feel drawn to is the person you should pick, and you can make appointments, again, in person or online or on phones with any of our readers. And I do encourage you to look that up if you are interested. And I do want to wish you blessings of this full moon.